Okay, I'll just keep admitting people in as they come. So again, congratulations on your acceptance to the Catholic University of America. I know that we have a handful of you that have already decided to join Catholic University, and a few of you that are trying to figure out whether it's the right place for you, maybe where you want to call home for the next 4 years. So we appreciate you taking time out of your night to see what the Busch School has to offer, especially from the career development and alumni outcome side. We have our career development staff here. We have Krisha, Krisha, were you a 2019 graduate or 2020?
2020.
2020 graduate. And then we also have the dean of our Busch School, Dean Andrew Abella. So I'll have everyone go around and introduce themselves, and then we'll have Dr. Abella just give reasons why Catholic University and the Busch School are so important. So Mary Kate, do you just want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, everybody. Welcome. My name is Mary Kate Conroy. I'm the Director of Career Development for the Busch School, which means that I work on helping you find internships and jobs. My team is dedicated to helping you personalize what your career outcomes can really look like here. And we'll tell you more about that today. And I'm excited to get to know each of you as well.
Brett?
Hey everybody, my name is Brett LaPrade. It's a pleasure to be with you. I know that this time is probably pretty stressful, but how exciting is it to get to decide what your next step in life is going to be? I'm really glad to get to spend some time and tell you more about what we do in the Office of Career Development. So my role, I work on the employer relations and employer engagement side. So everything Mary Kate just said and what we'll talk about a little bit later, I do my best to fill in as many companies, nonprofits, government agencies, think tanks as possible to give our students as wide of a variety of experiences as we can. That hopefully leads to that full-time job at graduation. So look forward to telling you more about that in a little bit.
Krisha?
Hi, I'm Krisha. I graduated in 2020. I majored in marketing and I have a certificate in digital art and design. Currently, I am an account associate for Smith Buckland in the Townsend Group unit. Part of my role is collecting advertisements for my clients' print and digital publications.
Excellent. And last but certainly not least, Dr. Abella.
Thank you very much. Welcome, everyone. Congratulations on being admitted. Congratulations on those who have made the decision. Today, we're going to focus, as they said, on careers. My own background as dean, I'm what you might call a late vocation to academia. I spent several years in business. I was a brand manager at Procter & Gamble, and then spent a number of years with McKinsey & Company, the strategy consulting firm, working around the world. And then did my PhD, came into academia. And I'll get back to why I think that's important, and that's also true of many of my other colleagues as well. So many things you've probably already heard about the Busch School, the large number of majors. We offer 16 different majors, so whatever you're interested in, we probably cover it. We've made it much easier now to double major as well. A lot of our students are interested in doing that. The fact that we're in a brand new, gorgeous building in a big city, but on a campus that has so much space, so much green space, it feels like often that you're in the countryside. So you have kind of best of both. A big city is nice in terms of internships, as Brett mentioned, not just internships with government, with not-for-profits, but little known fact, a huge number of Fortune 500 companies have major offices in Washington, D.C. So there are lots and lots of great internship opportunities here. Small student-to-faculty ratio, lots of mentoring, lots of clubs, study abroad opportunities, all of that part of the Busch School. But I want to highlight today, we're focusing on careers. Three, I think, very important things from a careers perspective. One is our placement results. So all good business schools have high placement results in the sort of high 90s%. We typically measure 6 months post-graduation. % of our graduates who are in full-time work, full-time jobs, or all gone off to grad school. And so in the last year before the pandemic, so May 2019, we had 96% placement. So very happy, very proud of that number. But what happens when things go wrong? So what happened in May 2020, in the depths of the pandemic, the lockdowns, major recession, what was our placement rate then? Yes, it fell. It fell to 95%. So only 1%, which is really outstanding. As you can imagine, given all of those situations, how are we able to place so many of our students so quickly? And the answer is One, the great careers team, and you meet some of them today. Mary, Kate, Brett, you already met briefly. You'll hear a lot more from them today. They are full-time dedicated just to the Busch School. So there's a university careers office for all of Catholic University, but in addition, there's a special dedicated Busch School careers office that works night and day to help you from the moment you come in as a freshman to be thinking about, what do I want to be when I grow up, when I graduate? But in addition to that, we have a second secret weapon, which is about half of the faculty in the Busch School are people like myself, late vocations, I'm calling them, who had a business career, in most cases longer than I did, and then took early retirement and decided they wanted to teach. So they have tremendous amount of wisdom, practical experience that they bring into the classroom. This is a higher proportion than any major business school that I know, to have about 50% of our faculty being former business executives, former entrepreneurs. But in addition to their wisdom, they also have a fantastic network. So when everything went to hell in a handbasket last May, and we had students coming up on graduation with no idea where they were going to get a job, our faculty went to work, basically calling everybody, emailing everybody they knew, figuring out, okay, which students still needed a position, what are they looking for, where in the country, and we basically just helped them find those jobs. Connections, as you know, are very important in business. Our faculty have a ton of those connections, and we put them to work for the benefit of our students. So that really worked well. So that's the one, career placement. The other thing I want to talk about is something brand new this year, which is our co-op program, launching officially this fall for our rising juniors. So co-op program is like internship on steroids. So we do lots of internships. Co-op program goes one step beyond that, up to 12 months, up to a full year of full-time work that we fit within the 4-year program here. So you don't have to stay in extra time. You don't have to pay any extra tuition, but you get up to 12 months full-time work experience and paid as part of your Busch School career if you're interested in that option. So both of these things are rare. And then the third thing I want to talk about, equally important for career, but also generally for life. And parents, you know this. So you think about your own experience at work and life in general. The most successful people are successful not just because of what they know or what they can do, but it's because of their character, right? It's about how honest they are, how hardworking, how disciplined, how friendly, you know. These are other kind of the softer skills, if you will, which business schools will talk about, but you can really only cultivate them by practicing them, by having opportunities to practice these habits, call them habits of excellence, call them virtues. That's the traditional name for them, is virtues, right? We are building these right into our curriculum. So it's not just kind of informal. We want you as students to get opportunities to grow as people, not just intellectually, but also morally, also in terms of character as well, so that you can become the person that you want to become. The most important thing about this, I think, is the community that we have here. So our faculty, our staff, our students are a very welcoming group of people. So even if you don't know a single person when you come here, you very quickly find you have a support network, a bunch of really good friends who are going to be helping you along as you go through this journey. Each of our faculty has a group of about 20 students that we mentor. So I have my own 20, every faculty member has their own 20. And we stay together for the whole 4 years. So I have the pleasure of watching the students grow from freshmen to seniors and then off to graduation. So if you're looking for a place where you can really feel at home, really shine, really become the kind of person that you want to become, if you come to the Busch School, I guarantee you, we will give you all the support. We will do everything we can to make sure that you achieve those goals. So I hope I get the opportunity to welcome you in person this fall.
Thanks, Dr. Bella. And I think that at this point, that makes a pretty good transition then over to Mary Kate, Brett, and Krisha talking about career development, why it's so important, what the Busch School does that makes us so different and so successful. So Mary Kate, I'll turn it over to you guys.
Thank you. Awesome. I'm going to share my screen and walk through our offerings with you all. And if you have any questions along the way, feel free to post them in the chat. We're happy to answer them, and we'll definitely have time at the end as well to get your questions live. So without further ado, career development is honestly my job here. I love my job here. I'm very passionate about what I do, and my entire team, including Brett, we just really love supporting you. And it's all because of what we're going to share with you here in this quick video. Career development is about the whole person.
And I think sometimes that can get lost when you're so focused on the career and the job search and getting that job that you think is right or that you're supposed to have. Career development is really about finding what it means to be a force for good in the workplace, to find out what it means for you personally.
The Office of Career Development exists to help students find meaningful work through the study of vocation. So career exploration, career preparation, career development, all aims towards developing a whole person.
And we get asked this all the time. How do I find not just a job, but a meaningful career? Our approach is really finding that vocation in business. What is it that you are really good at, that you're passionate about, that's going to contribute to something greater than yourself?
Students really want to contribute to something more. And to them, more is meaningful. And to them, meaningful is giving of themselves. It could be working directly with people in a way that's helping others.
They helped me to understand and learn that I didn't have to lower my standards when looking for a workplace that operated with integrity and had core values the same way that the Busch School did.
The small size of the Busch School of Business allows the Office of Career Development to mentor, to coach, to teach, to train all of our students in really individualized ways.
I meet with students one-on-one. I get to ask them questions about who they wanted to be when they were growing up, who they want to be now, and how we're able to help the students really navigate a world full of opportunities and make it quite a step-by-step path.
The one-on-one coaching with Mary really helped to develop a resume that would make me stand out when I was applying to startups and small business.
So our career coach meets with numerous students each week. Our career peer advisors meet with students to help them with career exploration. And the rest of our office is able to meet with students to talk about their interests, the experience that they've already had, and then kind of do a matchmaking in our head in order to say, you've got these experiences, you've got these skills, maybe you should consider talking with this person.
A lot of what we're focused on is the networking piece and experiential learning. Early in my college career, I was able to do the mock networking events, which helped me to learn how to network and how to make the most of your community.
There were plenty of networking opportunities available, whether it be a career fair here on campus, also having the Metro accessible right here on campus, and being able to get out into the city and meet the people in the fields that I wanted to work in was just so valuable.
I do a good amount of recruiting at the Busch School, just looking for different candidates for our intern program.
And we bring on class talks, club talks, helping them develop some skill sets, all while recruiting for our internship program as well.
And all of these things combined allow students to really pick and choose the things that they want to do, where they want to dip their toes in, where they want to dive headfirst into. And we've got really great people, both within the school, alumni of the school, and companies that we work with, who are willing to help students achieve whatever goals that they have and experience whatever they might want to try.
Catholic teaching reminds us that our life is supposed to be rooted in mission, and that having values is a huge part of being a whole person.
So that's really the goal, is we don't want to develop people who are just good at business. We want to develop people who are good and good at business.
And the university itself, Catholic University and the Busch School of Business, help students look at that and take time to focus inward and ask themselves what their mission is, what their vocation is, and how business is a means to which they can become the person they are really desiring to be.
Great. Can you all see my screen okay? Okay, great. So Dr. Abella mentioned, I just want to share with you guys how we get to this point, what we offer you when you're here starting day one, your freshman year. And Dr. Abella did mention our outcomes. And this is just a graph here to show that before the pandemic even, and as our school has been growing, the number of students, we've continued to grow the amount of placement within 6 months of graduation for students. So I think this is a real testament to how the Busch School just is really focused on the student individually, and how that this is just a proof of its success. In terms of our internship programming that we have for the school, it's a huge focus for us. Brett, do you want to talk a bit about these offerings from the Busch School so that students can obtain internships while they're in school?
Yeah, happy to, Mary Kate. So I know everyone can see 87% of our students say they did at least one internship while they were pursuing their degree. The national average on that is somewhere between 65 to low 70%. So I think our location in Washington, D.C. really facilitates students having the opportunity to intern, not just during the summer when D.C. becomes kind of the internship capital of the world, but also during the fall and spring semesters, since we are so accessible to many different opportunities in the district. And Northern Virginia, where there's lots of startups and tech companies, and even into Montgomery County, Maryland, where there's also lots of industries that are looking to hire our students. And so we offer support for our students in a few different ways. The most exciting one that I'm excited about is, of course, the co-op program that's launching, as Dr. Abella mentioned. But we also have an existing 4-credit internship course that is overseen and instructed by a faculty member, depending on the particular major or academic area that you're in. So you can get 3 credits for completing an internship, either during the fall, spring, or summer, which is a really great thing for students to do because you get faculty support and you get to work with our office in a more intimate way to really figure out, how should I be working in the workplace if this is one of your first experiences in a professional setting? And then it gives us as staff and as faculty the ability to connect with your workplace more deeply, and that opens up even more doors for other students. So that's a really beneficial program that we offer. And the second thing is micro internships, which is kind of a newer program. It's new to Catholic University. It's kind of taking over across the country in universities. And instead of a traditional internship, which might be, over a summer, so you're talking about a span of 3 to 4 months, or maybe during the course of a semester, a micro internship is a matter of hours. So it's project-based. So a company, let's say Microsoft is one of the early adopters of this micro internship platform. Microsoft might have a market research project that they need to get done, and they don't necessarily want to have an intern for 12 weeks, 16 weeks, whatever it might be, because the project itself will only take 30 hours. They post that on the micro internship platform that we use that's called Parker Dewey. A student applies for it just like they would for any other internship or part-time job. The students get paid for every opportunity that they complete through Parker Dewey. And at the end of the day, you get to put all those experiences on your resumes. And it's a really great way to diversify your experiences and try out different things. It's really great for early students, for first year and second year students who aren't exactly sure what they want to do, or even what some of these job roles and job functions actually mean. So those are really great things to do. My office, the Office of Career Development, my role in particular, I'm always searching for the next latest and greatest internship for a student. So we've got a Rolodex full of people that have hired students regularly, whether that's every semester or every summer. And then we're constantly trying to expand our reach throughout the district and kind of around the DMV area, and even across the country as the school continues to grow and our alumni base continues to spread out into many different places. So internships are a fantastic way to actually put into practice the things that you're learning in the classroom. As Dean Abella mentioned, you've got faculty who have years of wisdom and actual experience. And so you get to kind of turn that around and take the wisdom you've learned in the classroom from people who have done it for so long and try it out yourself, which is really fantastic for learning.
Yeah, Krisha, can you share with us maybe some of your experiences from undergrad that prepared you for your full-time job now? Did you participate in any internships?
Yeah, so I participated in 2 internships my senior year. Fall semester, I interned for Ringlet, which is an alumni-owned marketing boutique. It was really cool to intern for them. Well, 1, because it's nice to connect with alumni, and 2, to kind of give me the firsthand experience of what it's like to work in marketing, because that is my major. Second semester, I interned for Washingtonian Magazine as their events and marketing intern. It was cut short because of the pandemic, but during the 3 months that I was there, I had firsthand experience on how to plan large events within Washingtonian's clientele database, and then also get experience of like how to do advertising because Washingtonian is part of the advertising industry. So it was really cool to go to these internships because they were just in DC. So going to these internships via Uber or like via Metro was very accessible for me. And I heard about these internships actually through Alumni. I know one of the directors, I think, for Ringlet is an alumni, and I know her. My friend who interned for Washingtonian the year before in 2019, she was the one who told me about it too. So it's really nice to connect with alumni to do these internships.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing. We really appreciate that. And Krisha is not an exception by any means. Many students in the school have the same story and experience of connecting with alumni and can vouch for how willing our alumni network is to hire interns and help you out when you're searching. Great. So for another aspect of what we offer in the career development office is career coaching. And we're really focused, as the video mentioned, on that personal development. So we will work with you starting your freshman year on developing a personal development plan. And that encompasses everything that Dr. Abella was talking about, from values and character building. How do you want to grow as a person, to how can that apply in your career goals, and helping you figure out, if you're not quite sure yet where you want to end up or what path you want to launch your career in. That's why we're here. That's what we have career coaching for. And then we also offer a career peer advising team. And that's a group of students we've trained, usually a junior, senior level, who can work with you really early on your application materials. And they can give you great feedback on your resumes, cover letters, share their stories and experiences from their internships, and let you know what the interview process can look like, what to expect along the way, and help you practice before any interviews that you have. Those are just two of the ways right now that we're really focused on that personal approach to your career development from a career coaching perspective. On the more curriculum side of the house, I think a luxury or something unique about our office is that we're able to meet you where you're at in the classroom. Where the General University Career Center is more extracurricular stuff all the time. So we have a super curriculum series, which is a 4-course sequence that every student in the business school takes. And this is just providing you that practical preparation for job searching. We really focus on experiential learning, so mock interviews, getting you in front of alumni and employers through these courses is a key focus for us as well. We provide you networking opportunities and employer connections along the way. So starting your freshman year, you'll be enrolled in, it's called Management 199 is the first level course, and that's where we'll help you with all your application materials. We'll go through some career discovery exercises if you're still discerning what major to take, walk you through all the different specializations we have, and help set you on that path and get your personal development plan going. The curriculum also is very competency focused and value based. So there are a list of career competencies, the top one being that employers are seeking for when you graduate, and the top one being career and self-discovery and knowing and self-awareness, like knowing who you are, why you want what you want. And that's very ingrained in the curriculum as well, along with this value-based approach, focusing on prudence development, fortitude, justice, temperance, along with the communication and professionalism preparation. Krisha, I'm curious what you liked most out of that 4-course sequence, if there was one of those courses that stood out to you. Could you just share a little bit about what you learned in that super curriculum series?
Yeah, so I think my favorite part, I think it was sophomore year when we started doing our resumes. I feel like that's so big, especially when you want to start looking for internships. I never made a resume before until I went to college, so it was like really nice to build one. And then in that course, the professors there gave really good feedback on like what you should do, what you should add. And then it's also really nice that career development, like if you wanted like an in-depth talk more about your resume, we can always set up an appointment with you guys like after class. So it was really nice. I think that was my favorite super curriculum course.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing. Brett, would you like to talk about our offerings from a programming perspective?
Yeah, and so we've got as we just talked about, we've got our curricular aspect of what our office does, but a lot of what we do is also outside of the regular curriculum. So one of the nice things about being separate and having your own dedicated Office of Career Development in the business school, separate from what the university does, is that we have a lot of freedom to do programming that suits whatever students' needs are, or if we've got employers that we've connected with or alumni that we know who want to engage with students, we can basically make any program happen. And so we do have some tried and true methods that you'll see anywhere, but we have some things that I think are unique to us. So virtual and on-campus recruiting. So as you can imagine with the pandemic, just like your college search has gone, I'm sure it's been mostly virtual. Most of our recruiting for students for both internships and jobs has been done virtually. And so we host many different programs and interview days using Zoom and other platforms. But hopefully we can be back in Maloney Hall soon, because we do a lot of on-campus programming when we can, whether it's hosting employers for recruiting sessions directly or having 3 or 4 members or employees of a company come in and actually do a big interview day. And we go in the study rooms on the 3rd floor of Maloney Hall, and we let the recruiters or the employees set up shop, and they interview anywhere from, depending on how large the interview day is, 5 to 20 students in a matter of a day for internships and jobs. One of my favorite things that we get to do is workshops and panels. So just in the last few weeks, we've hosted a senior seminar on personal finances for after graduation and how you should take care of your finances while you're still in college. We've got a workshop that was on personal branding and the ways to talk about yourself and market yourself well, not just for a job or an internship, but just generally in life. How do you come across as a person that people will enjoy being around, and what's the meaning for that, and how do the virtues tie in there? We'll be doing some Excel workshops here in the next few weeks. If you're familiar with the marketing platform called Canva, we're doing a marketing crash course next week. So all different kinds of things. We have panels of alumni and other partners of the university to talk about their specific industries, from working in finance, investment banking, to working at a marketing agency, to doing in-house marketing, to working in some kind of role in management. We love to have those things and expose students to the variety of career paths that are out there. And then some of the other things, we do some special networking nights, special mock interviewing nights. Actually, today was the International Business Ethics Case Competition. And so we had a team of first-year students who won our Busch School case competition. They presented this morning and did a fantastic job. So that was the first part of their 2-part presentation. And we do job shadowing when it's not COVID times, and of course the Elevate program, which is our new co-op program. So if there's a student out there and there's something that maybe you've seen or that you've done in high school, or maybe you had a sibling, or maybe mom or dad, if there was something you did in college that we haven't talked about here, or that as you get involved with the school, if it's something you want to make happen, we can make it happen. It really is as simple as finding the interest and then just getting alumni or other partners connected. So do lots of really fun things. Students seem to really benefit from the programs that we put on. And so hopefully that can be you too, here coming in the fall.
Awesome. Thanks, Brett. And finally, I just wanted to show you all a snapshot of some of our larger employer partners. As Brett said, we are continuing to grow this list, and these are definitely some of the bigger named ones that we wanted to highlight. But I think something that is also important to highlight is how much our students, we are very entrepreneurial focused in the business school, and we have an entire center helping students either develop their own businesses or help them work for startups within the classroom through consulting projects. So we do have a great list of small business partners, mid-sized companies who are just continuously coming to train students, teach students, and also hire students. So if you do have any questions on employer partners, I'm happy to answer them. And I would say that in the last year, just to give you an idea of how many new partners keep coming into our life here in the Busch School, is we've had over 100 new alumni and employers on campus last year, in addition to our already started list. So it continues to grow. We're going to be doing a review in a couple of weeks to see how many other new ones came this past year, and I'm sure that number has exceeded even last year. So if you have any questions on that, let me know. I right now am going to stop sharing my screen before I share our contact information with you, and I would love to get any questions you have for us, the team, about the Busch School, about career development, and I'm sure Krisha will answer any questions you have about student life and how she transitioned into a full-time job even after graduation. So feel free to unmute yourself if you have any questions or post it in the chat.
I have a question about the co-op program.
Great. Hi.
Yeah, so with that, are you still doing school on top of the internship?
So that's a great question. That right now, for the pilot that's launching in the fall, you will either you could choose that option to take classes and work at the same time, whether you're working full-time or part-time for an extended contract. Like Dr. Abella said, we're aiming for up to 12 months for a work contract. So we work with each student who's accepted in that program individually with their class schedules, with their career goals, matching them with the employers that could be the best fit for them. And that's where you decide, do I want to continue taking classes at the same time? Is it possible if I'm working full time is the question. And on the other hand, if it's not possible and you want to just work full time, you'll still be able to graduate within 4 years the way we will restructure your schedule.
Okay, thank you. Perfect.
Mary, just so there's no confusion for anyone, the co-op program is not mandatory, correct?
Oh, correct. It is not mandatory. It's an opt-in. You apply to be a part of the program, and then we work with you on prepping for that. Basically, the extra help you get is pre-workshops and preparation before you go to work. You'll have a designated person on the career team, on the career development team, who will continue that relationship with you throughout your internship experience or your cooperative education experience, and will help you navigate some of those challenging workplace scenarios along the way, and help you see how it's a great learning opportunity and prepare you for the full-time working world.
So I'll throw a softball question out for Krisha. So Krisha, I know you talked about some of the internship opportunities that you've had, but how did career development specifically, prepare you to get some of those? Was it some of the workshops that you went to? Was it the 99 classes that you had? What do you think really kind of brought you along that right path?
I think so going to career development and kind of getting a refresher of my resume and kind of tips and tricks of after I apply, what are the next steps? What are the type of things I should talk about or bring up during interview? So they really helped me make sure my resume is up to date and then make sure I'm prepared to answer any questions or how to highlight myself in interviews. So it was really helpful to meet with them one-on-one, because I feel like even though we had a class talking about resumes and stuff, it could still feel a little scary to bring up this question. But it's really nice to have the opportunity to meet with someone one-on-one and kind of just get all of the questions that I had answered in that session.
And then this will just be a softball for Mary Kate and Brett. What's the most exciting thing for you about the career development role that you're in?
Do I have to pick one thing?
No.
I love working with students right from the beginning and seeing that immediate spark in your eye when something clicks. And it happens year after year. I have students coming in my office being like, I have no idea what I'm doing. I have no idea what I want. I'm starting from square zero and what do I do now? And for you to be able to recognize in those moments what you have done and then discussing with us where you want to be and seeing that come to fruition, it's a very rewarding job. I just love working with students on that aspect of things. As the director, I tend to lean more towards the strategic growth of the office side of the house, but any opportunity I get to work with the students to see that growth is really rewarding.
Yeah, two things come to mind for me. One is I get to talk to all kinds of super interesting, really cool people making an impact in the world daily. And that is just incredible. I mean, DC is a cosmopolitan city and it's the capital of the free world. So there's people from all over the world doing all kinds of things, and getting to get even just a glimpse into that is really, really exciting and a lot of fun. And so one thing I love for my students is when they get to experience that. But on the student side, one of my favorite moments are when I get either the phone call or the email from a student that we've been working with to either find an internship or a job, and you get that, I got the job, I got an offer, what do I do? And there's just that exciting moment. Even with Krisha for looking for a job after graduation, the day that she sent me the email saying, I got the offer, I'm accepting, was, I mean, we just throw our hands in the air and we jump around. It's just so exciting to see students get to do what they want to do. So that's probably the biggest thing for me.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing.
I had a question. So I'm obviously been accepted to the Busch School, but I'm currently undecided. I'm hoping to take I'm hoping to go in the direction of sports, and I personally love baseball. So seeing you guys have like the connection with the Nationals, even though I'm a New York Mets fan, it's like exciting for me to see that. And it's like I guess like a good thing for me to see that. But I guess it's like kind of different if there was going to be like an internship or like something like that with a sports team, rather than like Chris was saying, like she had her internships with like an actual company. I don't know if that's like any different. So I guess I'm curious as to like what kind of internships, like opportunities you've provided for like something like that in the past.
Do you want to take it, Brett?
Yeah, I'm happy to take that one, Vincent. I have a baseball on my desk that I fidget with when I'm working, so I'm with you on the baseball thing. Yeah, we have connections with all of the major sports teams across Washington, D.C., and then even broader. So just off the top of my head, the inside sales manager for Monumental Sports, which oversees the Capitals, the Wizards, the Go-Go, the Mystics, anything that plays at the Capital One Arena, they oversee all the hiring for that and kind of all the game day management operation stuff. We have other alumni and other connections that work there too, but they've hired students for internships and job in the past. That guy that I just mentioned also worked for the Mets, so there's your Mets connection in DC. Let's see. We are sending, I think it's 3 students this summer to DC United for internships for different things. And we had, I think 2 students in the spring interning with them. For the Nationals, we have a good relationship with their sales department and like the business side of the house. And so they did a recruiting session last spring with us to potentially bring in some students. Pandemic happened. So their baseball is still obviously recovering from that. And then students have interned in the athletics department here on campus. I spoke with an alumna a few weeks ago who is now the broadcaster for the Reading Fightin' Phils. So she does their play-by-play now. So we've got people all over the place. They're currently revamping the curriculum for the sports management specialization. And so I'm helping a little bit with that. I'm also helping oversee the establishment of a sports management club that will kind of formalize some of these relationships, and hopefully we can get some of our bigger alumni like Brian Cashman, general manager of the New York Yankees, to come and speak more regularly. He just spoke a few months ago, but we're hoping to have more of those things happen because DC is a sports town now. You win a few championships and people turn out.
So true. And Vincent, to your point, there's a difference in the search process for internships and jobs, but we're really heavy. If you can get an internship in the sports industry before you apply for a full-time job in the sports industry, that is really the way to go, whether it is for an athletics department or not. But you can also apply what you've learned from a business standpoint. Say you worked for marketing or marketing and events, but you want to apply it to working for the Nationals or for the Mets in their like programming and events side of the house, then that is transferable. And we work with students on finding how their experiences that they do have transfer or are transferable into the industries that you figure out, oh, I actually really want to work in. But that's a really great question. And Brett, thank you for sharing. We do have a lot of connections on the sports side, and a good number of students who are athletes in the school who also want to apply that passion to their business. their business degree. So we're very focused on growing that area and continuing the relationships we have.
So we have a question in the chat, and I think it's partially for Krisha, but I think Mary Kate and Brett, you could probably weigh in on it too. How did you choose an internship if you were offered more than one?
Have you had that experience, Krisha?
So sort of. It's funny because when I interviewed for Washingtonian Magazine, I accepted it right away, just because it's a magazine, like that's so cool. But also the internship with Washingtonians was leaning more towards what I wanted to do, which was events and marketing. Literally right after I said yes, I was doing that internship, I actually got an email 2 weeks later from the Nats to interview for their events internship. So I was like, oh my God, like the Nats, like that's so cool. Like I went to the parade and everything. So it was really nice. But I think when when you're offered 2 internships, it really comes down to what kind of schedule they're looking for and your school schedule. I feel like if you can find a balance between both, totally go for it. And then the other thing you should consider if it's a paid or unpaid internship, just because I mean, we're in college, it's nice to have a little, money in your pocket. But I did want to add to the sports question. I actually did a job shadowing with the Washington Wizards. So if there's any way you connect with the Washington Wizards and shadow somebody from a specific department, totally go for it. It was the one Wizards game when they were giving away the free fanny packs. I wanted to shadow their marketing team just to see what it's like to work in a marketing department for a huge team, and also what kind of marketing activities do they do to bring in crowds into the game. So it was really interesting to kind of see behind the scenes of when they were passing out the fanny packs and kind of like the operations of the marketing team game day. So if you ever get a chance to connect with someone, ask them if you can shadow them for a day. And honestly, I think they would love that because they like to show off their cool job. So keep that in mind to see if you could job shadow.
Such a good point, Krisha. And then in addition to what Krisha was sharing too about internship decisions, looking at each internship as a growth opportunity is really helpful. And sometimes that narrows it down for you, is what growth projection do you see within that offer or within that organization? Do they typically hire full-time from their internship program, or is it just an internship program and then you kind of go off to something else? And depending on what your goals are, that might help you figure out which one would be the best fit for you. There's many other ways to decide as well, but that's the main one that kind of stood out to me.
We have one more question in the chat. It looks like, were there internships with tech companies like Boeing?
Go ahead, Brett.
Yes, yeah. Let's see, Lockheed Martin is just down the road in Northern Virginia. We've had students intern there. We had a student who's about to graduate, and I need to follow up with him, but that might turn into a full-time job with NASA at the Greenbelt headquarters. Yeah, we have students doing all kinds of roles on the business side for these tech companies. Sales in particular is really big with these technology companies. So a lot of the headquarters are in Northern Virginia. If you're familiar with the area, Tyson's Corner, McLean, that area. So a lot of our students would do sales internships with those companies, but really anything from finance and budgeting to marketing. Yeah, all over the place.
Excellent. Are there any more questions? Okay, Mary Kate, if you want to share your screen and your contact information first, and then I'm going to go share mine at the end as well.
Sure. All right. I hope it comes up. Can you see that?
Yep. If you just want to scroll in on the content of this.
There you go.
And Mary Kate, can you make it a little bigger?
Is that better?
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, feel free to reach out if you have any questions. Like it says here, we can connect you with other current students, which I think just gives a really good immediate view of what it is actually like to come here and what they take advantage of and what's been beneficial. But Brett and I are happy to talk to you more if you have any questions down the road.
Yeah, so Mary Kate, you actually, the QR codes that you have on there, the QR codes I was going to share, so I don't need to share mine. But if anyone has any questions, if you want to be put in contact, like Mary Kate said, with any current students, or if you want to attend more of our admitted student Zoom sessions, we have quite a few coming up. The one next Tuesday is on student athletics in the Busch School. So about a third of our school are student athletes, and that doesn't include club sports and intramural sports. So students who are really passionate about their sport, wanted to play it in college. Followed by that on Wednesday, we have Why the Busch School and Catholic University. So our dean, our associate dean, Harvey Seegers, as well as a few of our current students will talk about their business experience, why they chose Catholic University, what they're doing here. So that'll be, I think, a really exciting, that's a little bit later in the evening. I know we typically have these at 5 p.m., but we understand that you guys have some tight schedules with, anything that you're going to be doing. So we push that a little bit later, and then we have an incoming business student session on Tuesday, April 27th. So for any kind of FAQ questions that you have about what the summer looks like, we can start answering some of those. So we hope to see you, as you're making your decision. Reach out to us. We'd be happy to put you in contact with offices like career development, academic services, some of our faculty, current students, alumni like Krisha. But I think that we've spoken a lot about how, the Busch School makes a difference, but it's really the students, the faculty and staff that really make a difference in our students' lives. That's the big differentiator between the business school and other places. So we'll let you go after this. I want to thank you again for spending the start of your evening with us. I want to congratulate you once again on your acceptance to Catholic University, and I hope to welcome you on campus in the fall.